And welcome, folks, to Champions for Life. I'm your host, Ken Wilson, and just so delighted to be in the studio with you today. With me, my Max, my main man producer here, making us look good. Shout out to KKVV, who is airing this broadcast. We love KKVV, the light of Las Vegas, 1060 a.m. Just rocking your radio with truth, light, and love. And we love the general manager out there, Alyssa, making it happen. And Heather and Don making it all happen. And just a great staff at KKVV. And wonderful radio station, wonderful ministry. And, to be honest with you, Las Vegas is blessed to have this radio station as a mission field, I guess you would say. Something that God is using to rock Las Vegas for life, truth, and love. And so, and we love them. Just a promo for the station today. A lot of stuff happening in the news. We got, good news today. Good news today. We're going to get to our events. Got a lot of events coming up. But we got great news. Looks like President Trump has nominated the pro-life doctor Heidi Overton as the Food and Drug Administration. This is great news. We're going to tell you why this is such great news. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Dr. Franklin Graham has some words to say about the governor of Massachusetts signing in the 9-month abortion bill. So, I mean, you can have abortions in Massachusetts now all the way up to 9 months. We're going to take a look at that. And, of course, also a lot of pro-life groups pushing to defund Planned Parenthood. If we got time, we're going to get to that as well. So, but before we get to all of that, we've got some events here at First Choice that you want to know about that are upcoming. And for those of you who are listening by radio, we understand that there's no way that you can write all this down while you're driving because, frankly, it's not safe. But we want you at these events, and we want your pastors and your youth leaders, your youth pastors, to attend a lot of these functions because they're aimed directly at you to help and equip the body of Christ, right? Your leadership and then the body to answer some of these life issues that we're having. Not only question 6, which is politics, and it's a big deal, but how to do day-to-day ministry with women who are facing unplanned pregnancies, whether it's, someone in your youth who's either pregnant or knows someone that is pregnant in their school or one of their, colleagues or such. First Choice exists so that we can minister, right? Our free clinic ministers to women who are facing unplanned pregnancies. It doesn't matter how old it is. It could be from 13. Listen, we've had them as young as 13 years old here at First Choice, all the way up to, well into their adulthood. And we do it all free of charge. And so we want not only our pastors and your youth pastors to know about our clinic, our free clinic, that we're doing, but that we're here for. I mean, we're the model crisis pregnancy center in the nation, according to Focus on the Family, right here in Las Vegas. It's a blessing, right? But it's not if it's the best kept secret in Vegas. So we are inviting, first of all, everyone to Truth, Answers, and Hope. Now, this is the first event. Truth, Answers, and Hope. This is going to be a live Q&A with Dr. Anthony Levatino. Now, this is amazing. This is going to be Wednesday, August 26th from 5 to 7 p.m., right? Wednesday, August 26th, 5 to 7 p.m. at Turning Point Action, which is 4680 West Post Road, right? That's going to be August 26th, 5 to 7 p.m. Now, Dr. Levatino is he's an OBGYN, right? But he's a former abortionist, done over 1,200 abortions, right? Now he's a pro-life activist. He's on fire for God. He's an author and a greatly desired speaker. And he's going to be at this free event for you. And it's going to be Truth, Answers, and Hope with Dr. Anthony Levatino. Again, that's going to be Wednesday, August 26th at Turning Point Action, 4680 West Post Road. Now, for those of you who are driving, I got more events that are going to be listed. All of these are available on our website. For more information, you want to go to our website, fcpschampions.org. FCPS stands for First Choice Pregnancy Services, right? That's us. That's our clinic. FCPSChampions.org. And when you go, just click events. You're going to see it all. That's all you have to remember, fcpschampions.org. And you're going to want to, because listen, the next two, we're going to be inviting your pastors to breakfast on one day, and then in the following few days, we're going to invite them again to a lunch. So your pastor has to be made aware of these. Now it's going to be a leadership for life breakfast, and that's going to be Thursday, August 27th, and this is going to be again with Dr. Anthony Levatino. It's going to be at 9 a.m. at the Centro Cristiano Pentecostal Church. It's going to be at 2222 West Mesquite Avenue, right here in Las Vegas. And again, the idea is to equip Christian and community leaders to become champions for life. And that's we're going to be aiming for our pastors and our youth pastors. Listen, look, I'm going to tell you how important this is, just so that you understand, right? Because abortion and pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, are so prevalent in our society today that it is affecting and impacting the church. A lot of times, a lot of the congregation that comes to church for the very first time is coming in with some of the hurts and damage from abortions, from broken relationships, from even miscarriages, and the church can be overwhelmed in ministering to them if they don't really have the leadership and guidance to learn how to do these type of things. That's why we're bringing in these speakers. And Dr. Anthony Levatino, former OBGYN abortionist, now loves the Lord, serving God, is going to speak, he's an author as well, is going to speak to these and show our pastors and youth leaders how we can minister in love. And then the beautiful thing about it is that we exist to supplement the ministry of your church so that it doesn't all have to fall on your pastor. It doesn't all have to fall on your youth leader and your youth pastor. That's why we're doing this. So again, this Leadership for Life breakfast is going to be Thursday, August 27th at 9 a.m. It's going to be at Centro Cristiano Pentecostal, 2222 West Mesquite Avenue. And again, Dr. Anthony Levatino. It's going to be awesome. Going to be completely awesome. And we're going to buy you breakfast as well if you're a pastor or leadership. Now, whoever attends, we're going to be there for that. Now, on Tuesday, September 29th, again, I know this is a lot, but Tuesday, September 29th, we've got Dr. Mark Newman. And again, this time, we're going to be buying your pastor's lunch just 2 days later at the same church. Another speaker, Dr. Mark Newman, and this is going to be talking about how to teach the toughest topic. You know, over the years, I've talked to a lot of pastors about this issue. Some of them pro-choice, some of them in the middle, some of them pro-life, right? And a lot of times they miss the mark, sometimes completely. A couple of pastors just flat out told me, said, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I went to a very prominent church here in Las Vegas with a lot of members, a major denomination. And I'm sorry to say, this pastor told me, he said, Kenny, and he knew all the pro-life scriptures, knew them, he quoted them perfectly. But he said, Kenny, I have counseled women in my congregation to obtain abortions and will continue to do so. Listen, and he's not, trust me when I tell you, he is not the only pastor in Las Vegas that believes these things, right? Then there's some pastors that are in the middle, and some pastors are very pro-life. And we want to be able to reach the pastors who maybe haven't been thinking about this topic or have been ignoring it because they think it's polarizing. The problem with thinking about this as a polarizing issue is that the people that are hurting in your congregation and the young people that are going to be facing this issue in your youth groups, right, have to face this sort of like in a void with no leadership, no guidance from the leadership in your church. So that's why we're bringing in folks like Dr. Levatino and Dr. Mark Newman, how to teach the toughest topic so that it's not polarizing. And so pastors, you don't have to worry about, well, every time I've had pastors, more than one, tell me, so Kenny, every time I bring up abortion, every time I bring up abortion, I lose people in my congregation. Well, okay, then let's try and find out how we can broach this topic, right? Without judgment, but with love and compassion through the guidance of the Holy Spirit and a little leadership like that we're going to find in Dr. Mark Newman as he teaches us how to teach this topic to our congregation with love. Because the beautiful thing about it, once we get this down, right? Because it's a tough topic, really, really tough. To go into the workplace, to go, for when you teach your congregation what you are going to be taught by Dr. Newman, it's tough. It's not easy. Because, first of all, a lot of people have already gone through abortion and they're sort of polarized, right, in favor of abortion because they don't want to be confronted with their action as sin. So it's tough when you broach this topic with another unbeliever, let's say, right? Because they're always going to feel as though you're judging them. And Dr. Newman is going to teach us how to approach them in love, right? Without judgment, so that we can restore them. First, it can restore them in their relationship to the Lord, and then introduce them to the healing that's available to them. And it can't happen unless we find a way to get through the stigma of not being able to broach this topic in our church, because it is impacting our community in a major, major way. And if question 6 passes, it's going to be far, far worse, more than we can ever imagine. So again, this is going to be Tuesday, September 29th. Pastors, we're going to buy you lunch. Bring your youth pastor. It's important you bring your youth pastor. Again, September 29th, noon to 2 p.m., and that's going to be Centro Cristiano Pentecostal. It's a Spanish church, but it's going to be in English as well. The whole thing's English, Spanish. It's going to be English, so don't worry. And again, that's going to be at 2222 West Mesquite Avenue, and it's right here in Las Vegas. And later that night, right, same day, September 29th, at between 6 and 9 p.m., again, Dr. Mark Newman is going to be speaking again to everyone. Snacks are going to be provided, drinks and snacks, so you won't go too hungry, right? And again, now this is going to be for everyone, right? Making the case for life with Dr. Mark Newman again, and same place, Central Cristiano Pentecostal, and again, 2222 West Mesquite. So 29th is going to be a big day. Tuesday, September 29th. So from noon to 2 is going to be for pastors. From 6 to 9 is going to be for just everybody, right? How you, the laity, can, just regular people just like you and me, can figure out how to broach this topic in love when it's a toughie. It's just a toughie. Whether you're at work, how do you talk to someone, at work who is actually in favor of abortion, But when deep down, if they've had an abortion, they're really hurting and scarred for life, right? How do you do that? How do you do that in love, right? Do we want to do that, right? And so these are why these type of meetings and seminars are so, so critical. And so we want you to be a part. And so not only that, September 23rd, 40 Days for Life. Now, for those of you who are, actually my microphone's hiding it a little bit, but if I've got here we are. I got my 40 Days for Life pin on. And I have been blessed with the honor of hosting 40 Days for Life. And I've done it for the last 20 years here in Las Vegas. And it is an amazing campaign. These are the folks, and I am one of those folks, that pray on the sidewalks legally in front of an abortion facility. And Kenny say, "Oh, I know who you are, Kenny. You're those protester people." No. I mean, I have in the past, but 40 Days for Life is not about protesting. So if you think that you're going to join a protest on the sidewalk, wrong. That's not why we're there. We're not there to protest abortion. What we're there is to make a difference. And you know how? By prayer. By prayer. So this is a call to all prayer warriors in Las Vegas. Do you believe? we're not asking you to hold a sign. Could care less if you hold a sign or not. Not there for that. We're there because we are praying for the mothers and families that are driving into the abortion facility as they pass us, right? And they'll know just by us standing there, even though we're not holding any signs or anything. If you don't want to, some will if you want. I can give you one if you want. But, a lot of people don't. They just go to pray. And they'll know that you're there, and an impact will be made. I can't tell you the amount of times that people have gone to our prayer warriors, our volunteers that have been praying for 40 days, and caught them off guard, maybe, and said, you know what, because you were there, we changed our mind. I remember once, I mentioned it before, just so ironic. 2 girls in a grocery store in the vegetable section caught my friend, and they came up to him and said, hey, listen, you know what? Because you were at that abortion clinic on that day, so long ago, my friend here decided to keep her baby, and we just wanted to thank you. It was in the vegetable section of the grocery store. This is why we do it, right? We're there to pray. He said, well, Kenny, I can pray at home. Great, fantastic. We want you to pray at home as well. But the reason we go to the abortion facility, to the sidewalk, right, where we can legally be, right, is because we go to where the devastation is happening in our city. We go there, and that's where we pray. That's where we pray. It's akin to, like, for example, if you have a loved one that's sick and they're in the hospital, yes, are you going to pray from home? Absolutely, you're going to pray. But listen, we're also called to go and visit our brother or sister that is suffering in the hospital and go and lay hands on them and pray for them, right? And when we do that, sometimes miracles happen. Can miracles happen from home? Absolutely. But for 40 days, our vision, for 40 straight days, we're going to be praying from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the sidewalk. And not only us, 600 cities around the world, folks, are going to be doing exactly the same thing we're doing here in Las Vegas. Hundreds of cities just in the United States and North America and Canada alone, right? But from Australia to Japan to England to countries in Africa, Kenya, it's Ghana. It's amazing how far 40 days is going to be outreaching as we pray simultaneously around the world for 40 straight days. It's amazing. And we want you to be a part of it. So I said, Kenny, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm a prayer warrior. I pray. I believe in prayer. Good. Then we want you. So what you'll do is you'll log into 40daysforlife.com, 40daysforlife.com. And if you can put /Las Vegas, it'll take you right to our website. But if not, just go through it and you'll figure out where to go. And then sign up. Just sign up for this coming event. And then mention 40 days, if you can, to your pastor. And say, hey, listen, there's an event coming up. Now, what we would like to have, if we could make it happen, is for churches to adopt a day. So during the 40 days, we're going to be praying from September 23rd all the way to November 1st. From September 23rd to November 1st, 40 straight days of prayer, 12 hours a day. What we'd like is for every church to pick a day during those 40 days and say, well, you know what, on October 5th, Kenny, our church has decided that we're going to cover that day in prayer. We're going to make sure at least 2, 3, 4, 5 people for every hour is going to be praying right there, and that's going to be our day. And you know what? We have an online calendar on our website that can help you do that. And we encourage you, whether you get a church to sign up or a Bible study group or a prayer group or whatever it is. I love the Knights of Columbus, actually, because the Knights come out and they pray for their, each church picks up a day. Knights of Columbus adopt a day, and it's awesome. And we love that. But, if you have a group that is willing to pray, then come on out, use our online calendar, find out where the location is. All that information is available on the website. Again, 40daysforlife.com, 40daysforlife.com, and be a part of the miracle. Since 40 days has started, here in Las Vegas, the 2 places where we have prayed for 40 days have closed. Clinica de Mujeres, they shut down and they moved away, right? And they're still in here in Las Vegas, but they're, that one place. So we moved to another place that used to be right next to First Choice. We prayed here for close to 20 years. Then they closed and moved to a new location. So we're following them, and we're going to pray there as well. And I've gotten to know the abortionists, and they know that we're praying for them. And the thing is, when we're praying, they know that we're praying on the inside, of that clinic. They know that there are prayer warriors out there that are praying for them, their staff, not in judgment, but in love, begging God to draw all of them out to the cross, right? To the feet of our Savior. And instead, we've had, in fact, over the years, we've had clinic staff that have actually quit, that have worked at the abortion clinic and have come out and said, you know what, I've quit, I'm done, I'm not going to do this anymore. I've known of at least 2, and I'm sure there's very many more. So over the years, since 40 days has begun around the world, we have had 187 abortion centers closed permanently. Now, remember the 2 that are here in Vegas? We don't count those because they moved to a new location. They moved away, right? So we don't count those. We're talking about 187 permanent closures where 40 days is at a vigil. So you want to tell me that prayer doesn't work? It does work. Miracles happen. In fact, I've had the blessing of being able to hold in my arms a child that has been saved because you prayer warriors are out there. And I know there have been dozens and dozens, right? And so our goal is to find those young men and women. Sometimes they'll come up and talk to you. Maybe they'll stop and take a little information because they know you're praying. Even though you haven't called out to them, they know that you're there for them. And you give them a little information. Maybe you give them a little pamphlet for first choice. Maybe they, God tugs on their heart. They turn around, they come here. They come to our clinic. And guess what? Miracle. A life is born, a birthday, right? And so 40 Days for Life, 187 abortion centers closed, 278 abortion workers that have quit. A lot of those are abortion doctors as well. Amazing. And 26,545 birthdays that we're pretty sure about. It's kind of hard to know for a fact, but we're pretty sure that we're sure that that number is probably quadrupled. I actually went to a leadership conference. I think it's probably 10 times that amount around the world. So it could easily be 250,000 lives saved from people praying around the world. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing what God can do if we just pray? And that's what it's about. 40daysforlife.com. Please just sign up. Sign the statement of peace, because we got to promise that you will act in a Christ-like manner, right? Because we don't want any problems while we're out there. We want to just be humble servants. God has allowed us to pray on our public sidewalks, and we will do so. And so 40daysforlife.com. And again, I'm the blessed person to be able to lead that in our city. One last thing. If you're listening to this broadcast, and you say, Kenny, look, I've signed up for everything. I want to, I'm a part of this. I'm donor for that. And, but I want to do a little bit more on the activism side. Now, when I say activism, don't get nervous. But I will tell you this. There's a person that I'm looking for. And I want you to pray about this. But there's a person that I'm looking for that will head up our Las Vegas life chain. And you say, Kenny, what is a life chain? The life chain is a unbelievable ministry that I was a part of maybe 20 years ago, maybe close to 25. And it's still going throughout the United States. It's just not happening here in Las Vegas anymore. And I want that to change. You say, Kenny, what's life chain? Life chain is where we pick a day during the year. And I'd like to do it, to be honest, before the election, right? Which is coming up November 2nd. I think it's November 2nd. And what I'd like to do is have this event before we vote on question 6. And here's the event. Here's how it works. Life Chain has a lot of signs, and all the signs are text, so there's no pictures or anything else. And originally, the founders of the Life Chain, of the National Life Chain Organization, just had sign that says abortion kills children. That's it. Just signs that said abortion kills children. And what they did was they got all the churches involved on that one particular day, whatever day we pick, like say October 25th, right? And what they've done in the past is thousands of people would line up along a thoroughfare, a busy street or highway, right? Not highway, but like a busy boulevard, whatever it is. And they would hold this sign, and they would, because they're thousands, they would stretch sometimes for 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, right? So many people involved because all these churches are involved, right? And they're all holding the same sign that says abortion kills children. That's all they're doing. And do it for an hour. And what I would like to do, first of all, is find someone that would like to lead that, to head that up. And what I would like to do is right underneath that sign have another little glued on piece of paper that says no on 6. No on 6. Talking about question 6. So that you're holding a sign that said abortion kills children. Do it for an hour, whatever day that is. But a little sign so that every person that drives by will see this. And you know what the crazy thing is? It'll end up on the news. It'll end up on the news. A lot of people will see it, and they'll see, oh, wow, no on 6. Well, what's question 6? And then they'll start figuring out what this really is about. Because if you remember, for those of you who read the ballot questionnaire on referendums last election, the pros and cons were kind of vague about what question 6 is, right? You really had to read and understand what it was about. You had to kind of know what it was about before you even voted on it. And we want people to become more and more aware of the fact that question 6, not only does it amplify abortions in the state of Nevada, right? Because then it'll go all the way to 9 months. So if you're 9 months pregnant and the doctor wants you to get an abortion, you'll be able to do it here in the state of Nevada. Right now, there's a 6-month limit on gestation for abortions. You can get them up to 6 months here legally in Las Vegas. But that'll be done away with. You'll go all the way to 9 months. You won't need a doctor to give you the abortion anymore. That language has been done away with, rewritten to, what was it, occupational therapist? What is it? Professional, yeah, medical, that's what it is, medical practitioner. So all you have to be is some kind of medical practitioner, which could be a veterinarian, school nurse, to perform the abortion, which is crazy. For those of you who are worried about parental rights for your little Susie, for your 12, 13, 14, those are gone. It does away with parental notification. Not talking about parental consent. Forget that. That's already gone. In fact, parental notification in this state is already gone, but we're fighting to get it back. So if your little 12-year-old, 13-year-old daughter ends up in the abortion clinic, you will have to be notified that the abortion surgery is in progress before it occurs. You will not be. But if question 6 passes, parents, that's gone. That's gone, right? Parents need to know that question 6 is going to radicalize abortion in our state. And we will become the abortion capital of our nation because it's already happening. People are coming to Vegas for an abortion vacation. And we already have organizations and NGOs that are paying already for women who are pregnant, want to obtain an abortion, can't do it, say they're in Texas or Louisiana or someplace, can't get an abortion there. They'll fly. They have their organizations that will pay for the mother's flight, their hotel, their child care if they're coming with children, and for the abortion. All the woman has to do is just get on the plane. That's already happening in our state. And if question 6 passes, this will be amplified tremendously. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody. So I want you to pray. For those of you who, say, you know what, I want to be involved. I want to be able to do this. We'll help you. We have all the signs ready to go. We've got thousands of signs ready to go, but we need a leader in Las Vegas that says, you know what, Ken, I can do this. I can organize the churches in Las Vegas and head up a National Life Chain Day here in Las Vegas, and you will certainly get help, and we need you. Las Vegas needs you, and we look forward to the difference that we can make. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors, and then we will be right back. want to take a moment to acknowledge one of the great sponsors that make this portion of the broadcast possible, and that's Dr. Ray Kelly of Kelly Chiropractic. Treats injuries from falls, accidents, motor vehicle crashes, work-related incidents. For those of you who are suffering from allergies, he also has a procedure called acutherapy, going to treat your allergies and ease some of that discomfort. Accepts most forms of insurance. Been in the business over 33 years here in Las Vegas. Give him a call. Set up your appointment. The number is 702-870-9200. And welcome back, folks, to Champions for Life. By the way, for that guy is, if perhaps you would be considering a position as the National Life Chain Day leader for Las Vegas or Nevada, then I'm going to give you a number to call. Now, you got to write this number down, 702-250-2637. Again, 702-250-2637. And you say, Kenny, I would, I think I could do this. I think I could head up a life chain, just one day event, and I make an impact. Yeah, and it'll be on the news, I promise you. Channel 8, Channel 5, Channel 3, they'll all cover it. And they may even have a helicopter or two, and it would be great publicity to push the No on 6 effort here in our city, because look, we want people to become more and more aware that, hey, guess what? Abortion kills children, sure. And the social impact that's going to have is going to be phenomenal. But also, we really want to see Question 6 defeated. Because if it's not, our Constitution will be changed. The Nevada Constitution will be changed, and it will allow abortion through all 9 months. It'll remove all regulations on abortion clinics. So there will be very little oversight, medical oversight. They can do, if a problem occurs, no one's going to care, and they can keep it a secret, right? And again, for you parents out there who have daughters, I got 3 daughters, right? Parental notification will be gone. We have such a problem here in Las Vegas with sex trafficking, right? It's a problem. It's a very, very, very serious problem. We've got ministries and non-religious organizations that are working to combat it here in our... That's how big of a problem it is. And unfortunately, a lot of perpetrators hide their crimes of rape and pregnancy from the women that they have working for them who end up getting pregnant. Maybe they're trapped in a lifestyle, and these abortion clinics hide it, right? And so we don't want to see more of this in our city. We don't want it. And that's why another reason why Question 6 must go down in defeat. And so I encourage you again, if please pray about becoming the National Life Chain Day leader here in our city. We'll absolutely help you. We've got all the signs that you need, and we've got all the contacts you need. We just need someone to take up, say, you know what, Kenny, I can do this. And if that's you, listen, here's the number, 702-250-2637. Again, 250-2637. And you say, well, you know what, Kenny, I can do it. I can do it as God leads, and God's going to bless your efforts. God is going to bless your efforts. I guarantee you. And it's going to be awesome. All right. A lot of news today. This is good news. When you deal with the pro-life issue, a lot of times you don't have good news. You got good news today, folks. Good news today. Trump has nominated now, it's not official, Dr. Heidi Overton as the Food and Drug Administrator. Now, for those of you who are looking on Facebook and YouTube, there she is. Beautiful lady. She's already working in the Trump administration. Very pro-life. Overton already currently serves as the Deputy Director for the White House Domestic Policy Council. She had already advising the president on health policy for the nation. And she previously served as the Chief Policy Officer for the American First Policy Institute. And she also has led the Center for a Healthy America. So this is right up her alley, right? And she's board certified in public health and general preventive medicine. And she's trained as a general surgery resident at Johns Hopkins Hospital and earned a doctorate. So this is Dr. Overton, by the way, earned a doctorate in clinical investigation from the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. So this lady is amply qualified, and she is very pro-life. Oh, this is a good move. I know a lot of you say, well, it's Trump, and I'm not a big Trump guy. Look, okay, fine, but Trump nominated a great person for the FDA. Better than Malarkey. Holy smoke, Malarkey, who couldn't figure out anything about anything. Couldn't figure out how to. He couldn't stop the little the weight symbol on the Windows software program, because we need someone to come install the software. We can't run the software to figure out if the abortion pill is having a deleterious impact on Americans. I can't figure it out. Now we've got someone that can. So it's good news. It is absolutely good news. And it is very, very well. Said Joe Mize, who's the CEO of Americans United for Life, said Dr. Overton is the right candidate. She has the scientific and medical background that will enable her to perform an objective analysis of the dangers of chemical abortion. The dangers that chemical abortion poses to women. And Americans United for Life supports Dr. Overton as the next commissioner for the FDA. Said Sarah Zagorski, who's the Senior Director for Public Relations and Communications at Americans United for Life, added that we believe Dr. Overton has an opportunity to help strengthen restrictions on the chemical abortion regimen, which in this post-Dobbs era has raised serious concerns about the safety and well-being of women and girls. Beyond the potential physical risks, the ease with which these drugs can be obtained online may also create opportunities for abuse and violence, particularly when they can be purchased by individuals seeking to place women in dangerous or coercive situations. And this is something that we've been talking about, the abortion drug, right? The abortion drug is this poisoning of American mothers in our country. It has to stop. It has to be curtailed, and someone like Dr. Overton can curb this through her oversight, and so we're so thankful. Other pro-life leaders see her medical expertise and policy background as vital for protecting women and unborn children by scrutinizing the risks of abortion drugs. And listen, I'll tell you how prolific it is in our society. The abortion drug now is so incredibly available. Planned Parenthood hands it out like candy to anyone who asks, because there are just no restrictions. You want the abortion? There's a bunch. Here, have some of these, right? And the problem is 11% of all women who take the abortion drug, who are pregnant, and who take this 2-part abortion pill to end the life of their child, 11% of them, over 1 in 10, ends up in the emergency room. Right? Because they take this pill at home, then there's hemorrhaging, there's complications, and they don't know what to do, and ambulances come. Maybe it's an incomplete abortion. It's just problems because there's no oversight. You're given the drug and said, here, go have your abortion at home. Right? Just go have it at abortion. And then the psychological effects, the damage that's done to American women is just so tragic. And so we need someone like Dr. Overton. This is good news. It's absolutely good news for America. So you say, well, Kenny, she's only been nominated. That's true. You know what you do? You call your senators and you tell them you would love to see Dr. Overton confirmed as the new Food and Drug Commissioner, the FDA Commissioner, and please confirm her. Now, listen, the two, Titus and our other Senate, they may be adverse to having her, but at least they're going to hear from you. So call your senators, let them know that you support Dr. Overton. You love this nomination. You think it's a good idea, and it is. Babies can live with this nomination, I think. And I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge RTS Postal Express for all your printing needs, whether it's color copies, whether it's black and white copies. Maybe you would like your company or business logo on your shirts or your cups or your umbrellas, or perhaps you need business banners or signs, you name it, RTS Postal Express, my man Angelo, if you mention Champions for Life, you will get a discount on your order, so make it a big one. For more information, contact RTS at 702-489-4859. Again, that's 702-489-4859. RTS Postal Express, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life broadcast. By the way, speaking of the abortion pill, I want to let folks know, perhaps you're contemplating taking this drug, right? The abortion pill. I want to speak to you for a second. Before you take this drug, I urge you to get some free, you can call it counseling, just get free clinical advice from the staff at our clinic. Here at First Choice, we don't charge our clients a dime. Whether we do a pregnancy test, whether we do counseling, whether we do our sonograms, we don't do anything. We don't charge for anything. In fact, just like, I'll tell you how busy we are. Every week, like last week, we did 40, almost 50 pregnancy tests, and we did 35 ultrasounds just last week, right? And we do that every week, and it's all free of charge. Our counseling, our talks, maybe mothers need resources, all of that is free. And if that's you, by the way, and you need some help, give us a call. Our number, 702-294-CARE, 294-2273. But for those of you that are contemplating taking the abortion pill, I urge you, please give us a call and get more information about the side effects and what to expect when you take the abortion drug, right? Now, for those of you who have already taken it, and if you're hearing this and you've taken this drug within the last 24, 48 hours, and you regret it, you say, wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. Please give our clinic a call immediately. Do not wait. We have an abortion pill reversal protocol that could save the life of your child. And you can call immediately, 24 hours a day. Someone will pick up the phone. And that number, listen closely, for abortion pill reversal protocol, that number is 877-558-0333. Again, for the abortion pill reversal protocol, 877-558-0333. And call us immediately. Immediately. We can save the life, potentially, of your child. Now, a lot of times, look, we've got stories, I can't tell you the amount of stories I've had of where women have been, this drug has been forced on them, where, men, boyfriends, husbands, whoever, have slipped this drug into their food, their drink, whatever it is. But the first part of it only suffocates the child. The second part they haven't taken yet. Listen, it's crazy. You need help. Give us a call. Again, if you're thinking that you have taken it, we've given you that number, 877-558-0333. But if you would like more information about what the abortion pill does, how it works, what the risks of taking it are, you can find it out free of charge at our clinic. And all the information is private. Once you come into our clinic, we are required by law, right? It's almost like talking to your lawyer. It's privileged. No one else can find out about this conversation unless you tell them, right? But get some free information about this before you take this poison, I'm begging you. Find out what the complications are. Find out what the risks are. Find out how safe it is. And if for any reason there's a chance that you may change your mind, right? Get our number so that you can call us and say, you know what, I made a mistake. We've had that. Listen, I think now through our clinic, there's over 20. We're going up on maybe 24 children that are alive today just from our clinic that have gone through, mothers who have gone through the abortion pill reversal protocol. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that miraculous? We're doing this free of charge at our clinic, saving lives. Now, to see these. I've seen these children, seen them with my own eyes. These beautiful children who are alive today because First Choice is there, free of charge. I just love, it doesn't get any better than that. And so that's why we're urging you. Look, you say, Kenny, this is quite a place y'all have, isn't it? Really, I got to be honest with you, it is. That's why I love being involved with First Choice, because they're making a difference and they're not costing anyone a dime. Right? You come in, pregnancy test, free of charge. You say, well, wait a minute, I'm 2-3 months along, thinking about abortion. Well, okay, well, let's just check on how about having an ultrasound? Let's see what the baby. Take a look, right? And get a picture of your baby if you want. You get free ultrasound. For those of you who don't even know if you're pregnant or not, maybe you've already scheduled an appointment with the abortion clinic. Let's make sure you're actually pregnant before you go into. Let's not just take the word of the abortionist or your pregnancy test. Come in and get it done professionally, right? Here at our clinic. Let's make absolutely sure you're pregnant, right? And we'll do that. If you want more information, we give it to you. If not, God bless you, and you can leave. The choice is yours. But First Choice exists to help women that are facing these issues. It's the only reason we exist. That's why we're here today. And look, our dream, folks, and we want you to share in this vision. Our dream, and we're actively working towards this, of opening up another clinic just like this one. Maybe a little bigger, right? And we want to be able to impact more women in our community who are facing these life-threatening issues for their child. And we want to be able to help those moms that are out there and say, hey, look, okay, great. I've decided to have my child. What are you going to do to help me? Right? I need clothes. I need cribs. I need a place to live. Right? We've had young girls that have come in and said, listen, my parents have already told me, I'm 15 years old. My parents have already told me that if I have this baby, I'm out of this house. They were going to kick me out of my house. I want this baby. I don't want an abortion. Where do I go? We have a place. We have a place for you. Isn't that beautiful? A Christian home where they can safely have their child. A lot of people don't know these things. That's why we're here. We're here to provide these answers to moms that are, anywhere on the spectrum. Maybe they're contemplating abortion. Maybe they said, no way, I love my baby, I want to have it, but I've got all these obstacles. We're here for you. That's why we exist. That's why we had Kathleen Miller on the show, last month? And for those of you who are able to see us on YouTube or Facebook, you can log into our website, fcpschampions.org, and go back to our back podcast. You'll see Kathleen Miller there. Kathleen Miller is the wonderful lady that has the women's homes. She already has 2 homes. Beautiful homes. I'm telling you, these homes are really, you would not mind living in these homes. I guarantee you, right? And she's amplifying this by now about to kick off an apartment complex. Isn't that crazy? An apartment with multiple units where mothers who have now had their child can then live and then work on their GEDs or work on getting employment without the burden of saying, you know what, the world is collapsing on top of me. That show is available. You can get more information about Living Grace Homes. Living Grace Homes, Homes, homes. Or you can look them up on the web. Kathleen Miller, impacting our community with actual homes that are making a difference for mothers who've said, you know what, I'd have my baby if I had a little help, just a little bit of help, like a place to live, right? And so it's happening. And look, a lot of times people are going to come to you, as they have with me over the years, and said, Kenny, you know what, you pro-life people, all you care is about, you care about the fetus. You don't care about, you don't care about the mom. You people, you are all the same. You know what? It could not be further from the truth. It could not be. That's why I love doing this, because if I run into one of these people, now everybody that knows me now would not dare to make that accusation. But if they did, I could bring them right here to First Choice. And I said, listen, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing right now. And then I can take them into our office, and you see lined up on the wall all the myriad of organizations that are there to help the mother who's facing an unplanned pregnancy, that it is an impossible situation. And we've had every possible situation that you can imagine. Nevertheless, God is blessed, and we are soon going to crest 48,000 birthdays, 48,000 children that are alive today because First Choice exists. Isn't that amazing? You can be a part of it. In fact, if you don't believe me, take a tour of First Choice, 860 East Sahara. You can come and see the wonderful staff. You can see all the angels that are walking around. When you walk in, you're going to see, our lobby, so be considerate. This is a working clinic. In fact, we'd ask if you'd like to take a tour, and we'd love to show you the place to you. But you want to call and say, hey, listen, I'd like to come take a tour. When's the best time? When's a good time for me to come down so you're not impacting our facility, while we're doing ongoing care for our clients and patients. But it's a beautiful facility, and we need more of these. We are woefully underserved here. We're underserving the women in Las Vegas, which is why you need to attend our gala that's coming up. And our gala is coming up. Our First Choice Gala is going to be Friday, September 18th. And it's going to be the 22nd annual Give Voice to Their Tomorrow Gala. It's going to be at the Westgate. There it is. And our keynote speaker is going to be, please let me say this name correctly, John Amanchuku. And Max is correcting me, as producers will do. And it's a nationally recognized author and speaker. But the beautiful thing about, I'll tell you something. This is going to be at the Westgate. Again, it's going to be September 18th. VIP reception, 5 p.m. Be there at 5. Be there at 5. And dinner's going to be at 6. This is those nice suits, ladies. That gown. you know the one that I'm talking about. The one that it just makes you look regal, makes you look like a queen or a princess, right? That's the one you want to wear to this gala. And I mean, listen, this is going to be nice. And you're going to be able to see and meet all of the people that have supported life, supported First Choice, that stand for life in our community. A lot of leaders, a lot of radio station hosts and ministry leaders and pastors, and a lot of politicians that are going to be there as well that you'll get to meet. And you can help support our vision and help us get along as we move towards opening our next clinic, which is our dream and our vision. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We want you to be a part. So if you want more information about how to register for that, for those of you who are looking on YouTube, there's a QR code, more information, or you can go to our website, fcpschampions.org, and click events. And then you'll see our gala. Got to buy a table. Listen, yes, it's our big fundraiser. It's our annual fundraiser. Each table seat is $150. Okay, I understand. But you know what? What we'd really like is for our pastors or community leaders to buy a whole table and then just fill it and then have all your friends pay you back. I mean, it's just the easiest way to do it. And just buy a table, invite your pastor, right? Maybe a pastor doesn't know anything about First Choice. This is a great way to introduce them to it. And the other thing that's great about it, the thing that I really, really love, is that you get to meet some of the moms who have brought their children who've been saved because First Choice exists, because you've supported First Choice, because you have supported us in our ministry as we help these moms. And to see these moms, these couples, these families, and these beautiful children, these babies, it's just so wonderful. These children wouldn't be alive, more than likely, if we didn't exist. And then to see the joy that's just overflowing, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. You know what it does? It makes you an instant champion for life. It just does. It just really does. And we want you to be there. So again, It's going to be September 18th at the Westgate. And yes, you got to buy your ticket, of course, RSVP naturally. But the VIP reception is going to be at 5 p.m. Dinner and program is going to be at 6 p.m. And look, you got to look good. Listen, don't come in your jeans and T-shirt. Max, I'm talking to my producer now. Do not come in your jeans and T-shirt, sir. I want you looking good, especially if you're going to be sitting at my table. and it's going to be great. All the people that you haven't seen for a while that are there, it's going to be fantastic. So you want to be a part of that. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, and all the other events. Look, we've got, like I said, we've got a ton of stuff coming up. Wednesday, August 26th, we've got Truth, Answers, and Hope with Dr. Anthony Levatino, 5 to 7 p.m. Then the following day, Thursday, August 27th at 9 a.m., we're going to have the Pastor's Breakfast, Leadership for Life breakfast, again with Dr. Anthony Levatino, OBGYN, former abortionist, right? Going to be there to answer everybody's questions. And on Tuesday, September 29th, just a couple days after that, Pastor's Breakfast. That's coming up. So pastors are going to buy you breakfast. That's going to be with Dr. Mark Newman, how to teach the toughest topic. And that later that night, Contenders, making a case for life. It's going to be for everybody from 6 to 9 p.m. Going to have a little food, snacks, drinks, that type of stuff. Same place, again, with Dr. Mark Newman. And both of those last two places are going to be at Central Cristiano Pentecostal, 2222 West Mesquite Avenue. And then, of course, Friday, September 18th, give voice to their tomorrow. That's going to be our gala, First Choice Pregnancy Service Gala. Attend these events, folks. We do them for you, not for us. It costs us to get these events on. We do them for you, so that you can be a champion for life.